Stop everything. What I'm about to tell you might be the biggest emotional wake-up call of your life. Imagine reaching 50, 60, even 70 years old and realizing that everything you were taught about love was a lie planted deep inside you. And the worst part? That lie has made you settle for crumbs of affection for decades. If you're a woman who's ever suffered for love, and you've quietly wondered if you'll ever truly be chosen, this video is a slap, a hug, and a scream for freedom, all at once. Type in the comments, "No more crumbs." The algorithm needs to know you're here for messages that set you free, not ones that keep you small. And hit that like button, because the truth I'm about to share won't stay free forever. Now take a deep breath, because in the next 30 seconds, you'll understand why the right man isn't coming to knock on your door, and why waiting for him might just be the cruelest trap of all. This might hurt, but it might also save what's still alive inside you. Are you ready to stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself? Then don't blink, don't scroll, don't click away, because what's coming next might reprogram the way you love forever. You're not alone, but the loneliness inside you screams louder than any voice around you. Carl Jung once said, "Loneliness doesn't come from being alone, but from being unable to share what's essential." And that's what so many women live today, sitting in silence, in relationships that ended long ago but never made a sound, sleeping next to someone who left on the inside years ago. Life keeps slipping away, like warm water running through your fingers. No one prepared you for this moment, for that strange feeling of existing, but barely living. Buddhism calls this dukkha, the quiet suffering of resisting what is, because you were never taught to let go. You were taught to wait for someone to finally see you, to wait for him to change, to wait for love to return, to wait for time to fix what's already broken. But what if I told you that waiting is just a silent way of giving up on yourself? And what if, deep down, you've always known that? If this hit something inside you, write in the comments, "I feel this." No need to explain, just write it. It's your way of acknowledging what's been silent for far too long. Today, that's what we're talking about. How to bloom even when no one's watering you. Because, yes, it might feel like everything inside is dry, but dry doesn't mean dead. It just means waiting for movement. And the first step is to see. See with clarity. See with courage. See what you were taught to accept and what you still have the power to change. In the next part, we're going to break the first spell, the lie you were told since you were a little girl. You'll only be happy when someone chooses you. You need someone to be complete. That was the first lie. And the most dangerous part? You believed it without even noticing. Since you were a child, you've been told that your happy ending depended on someone else. No matter how strong, smart, or kind you were, they said the real victory was to be chosen. Psychotherapist Esther Perel once said, "We were taught to look for in others what we should have been cultivating within ourselves." And that's what happened. Incredible. Whole women living as if they're half of something, always waiting for a missing piece that never shows up. But that's not love. That's emotional dependency dressed up as romance. Buddhism calls it upadana, the attachment that creates suffering. You don't want love. You want to be saved. And that's why every new relationship ends up being just another chapter of frustration. Not because you're too much or too hard to love, but because you were programmed to depend. And today, we break that programming. From this moment on, everything changes. Because now, you see, no one is coming to rescue you. But that's actually the best news you'll ever hear. Because real salvation begins the moment you stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself. Type in the comments, "I choose me." That's it. A small decision, but one that, if made with truth, can change the entire direction of your story. In the next part, I'll show you why your brain keeps pulling you into the same kinds of relationships even when they hurt, and how you can finally break free. Have you ever asked yourself why you keep ending up in the same pattern even when you swear this time will be different? It's not bad luck. It's a program. Psychologist John Bowlby, the founder of attachment theory, proved that our emotional bonds are formed in childhood, and if they aren't seen or healed, they repeat like destiny. Your body craves freedom, but your mind craves safety, even if that safety is toxic. So you go back, even knowing it will hurt. You try again, even feeling yourself fade away, because somewhere deep inside, you learned that love means holding on until you lose yourself. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity, the power to rewire itself. You can teach your nervous system that love is not abandonment, not fear, not silence. Type in the comments, "I break the cycle," not for me, for you, to see it written, to mark the moment the old script ends. Now stop for a second, breathe, put your hand on your heart and listen to what's there. That's your body asking for presence, and that's where we start. Psychologist and meditation teacher Tara Brach says, "Healing begins the moment we can stay with what we feel without running away." So here's your practice. Notice the physical sensation. Do you feel a knot, a tightness, a strange warmth? Don't analyze, just feel it. Name it. Sadness? Fear? Neediness? Confusion? Naming is the first act of release. Validate it. Say inwardly, "It's okay to feel this. I'm here." This ritual takes 3 minutes. Do it 3 times a day for 30 days. It will retrain your system so you stop chasing out of desperation and start staying out of choice. Type in the comments, 30 days of presence, because that's your promise to your healing and to your emotional freedom. In the next few seconds, you're going to uncover one of the cruelest lies ever told to women about love and about aging. They told you that after 40, you start to lose your glow, that after 50, you're off the market, that after 60, no one sees you anymore. Lie. That story wasn't written by women. It was written by a system terrified of women who no longer need approval to exist. Writer Clarissa Pinkola Estes once said, "A woman who grows with awareness becomes dangerous. She sees, she chooses, and that's why they try to convince you that your age was a problem, because a woman who's awake, who carries her stories, her scars, her calm authority, can't be controlled." So it's time to take back what's always been yours, your time, your body, your reflection in the mirror, without shame, without rush. Maturity doesn't dim your light. It reveals it. If this lie ever wounded you, write in the comments, "I am enough." Say it like a declaration to yourself, not to please anyone else. Now, in the next few seconds, you'll learn how to use your pain as fuel to turn old wounds into sources of personal power. There's pain that sinks you, and pain that wakes you up. Psychotherapist Pema Chodron calls it clean pain and dirty pain. Dirty pain is the one you replay daily. Regret, guilt, all the endless what-ifs. It keeps you stuck like a scratched record, looping the same line. But clean pain, that's the pain you face honestly. You feel it, you cry, you tremble, and then you move through it. And when you do, something breaks open, and something inside you is finally free. You don't need to avoid pain. You just need to learn how to feel the right kind of pain. Put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, does this pain bring me closer to myself or keep me trapped? The answer lives in your body. It always knows when you're betraying yourself and when you've finally started to heal. Type in the comments, "I choose to walk through it." Because that simple act, saying it, naming it, can begin a whole new relationship with your own story. Now, let's talk about why so many women stay in relationships that died long ago, and how the fear of seeming ungrateful keeps them from leaving. You don't stay because you love. You stay because you feel you owe. But he helped me when no one else did. He's not that bad. I should be more thankful. That's not gratitude. That's emotional captivity. Researcher Brené Brown, known for her work on vulnerability and shame, says, guilt tells you you've done something wrong. Shame makes you forget who you are. And the system found an effective way to keep kind-hearted women small by making them confuse loyalty with self-abandonment. You can be grateful and still know it's time to go. You can honor what was good without having to die for it. True gratitude never asks you to betray yourself. Close your eyes for a couple of seconds and ask, if I stayed only for me, would I stay? If the answer is no, then it's already clear. Write in the comments, I release with respect, because that's where conscious freedom begins, not in anger, but in awareness. In the next few seconds, you're going to step into a moment of radical clarity to see whether what you're living right now is love or just survival in disguise. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Now answer, with brutal honesty, if this person disappeared today, would you feel longing or panic? That's the question that separates love from dependency. Because healthy love creates space. Dependency sucks the air out of the room. Here's a little exercise. Grab a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. On one side, write, what I receive from this relationship. On the other, what it costs me. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't rationalize. Just write what's true. Now look at it. If what you're paying for costs your peace, your emotional health, your spark, that's not love. That's fear. And fear can't be the foundation of a life. Buddhism teaches that attachment is born from the illusion that someone else is responsible for our well-being. But no one holds that power, not you over them, not them over you. Type in the comments, "I see clearly." And if you want to go deeper, share this video with someone you love, someone who might still be stuck without realizing it. Now let's talk about how to get your energy back and why that's the first step toward rebuilding yourself. Something is draining you. Maybe it's a name, maybe it's a place, a memory, a conversation that never happened, or a promise you're still waiting for. But every time you think about it, your energy drops. It's subtle, but it's devastating. You wake up tired, you go through the motions, you do what needs to be done, but your soul's not in it. You're living, but not alive. Psychiatrist Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate." So today, you're going to call your energy back. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Picture everything that still holds you, names, moments, faces, scenes. Now say silently to yourself, "I cut this cord. I no longer need this to live." Repeat it until you feel your body release. You don't have to forgive right now. You don't have to understand everything. You just need to cut the flow. That keeps draining your life force. Write in the comments, "I'm coming back to myself." That simple act, naming it, is already the first step toward re-anchoring your energy. Now, in the next few seconds, you're going to access a rebuilding ritual, a simple practice with a pen, a piece of paper, and a decision that could change the next 5 years of your life. Because once you've released what drained you, it's time to plant something new. Grab your notebook or a sheet of paper. Yes, write it by hand. Your body processes it differently when you do. Here's the ritual. Visualize yourself 5 years from now. Not what you own, but how you feel, where you wake up, what kind of peace you live in, who's around you, or maybe who isn't. Write down 3 things you want to create, just 3, because focus is the birthplace of strength. Pick a date to begin. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation comes after movement. Discipline comes first. Now take a breath and read out loud what you just wrote. That's your first contract with yourself. According to neuroscience, when you write down a goal and speak it aloud, your brain registers it as possible, and it quietly starts working in your favor, even when you're not aware of it. Type in the comments, "I choose my path." And if you want to make it stronger, share this video with someone who's standing at their own turning point. In the next few seconds, you'll understand what's really behind your constant fear and how to turn it into a compass for your rebirth. Fear never disappears completely, but it can move. It can step out of the driver's seat and sit quietly in the back. You don't need to get rid of fear. You just need to learn how to walk with it without letting it choose the route. Spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle once said, "The mind loves to project itself into the future as a way to escape the present." That's exactly what fear does. It builds stories. What if I regret this? What if I end up alone? What if it's too late? But here's a quiet truth. The regret of not trying hurts far more than any failed attempt. The kind of courage that frees you isn't loud. It doesn't shout or perform. It's the kind that wakes up the next morning and says, "Even scared, I'm going. You've already been through so much, and yet here you are, listening, feeling, breathing. That is courage. Now there's only one step left. Act from who you're becoming, not from who you were told to be. Type in the comments, "I walk with courage." You made it this far, and that already says everything. You've felt the quiet loneliness, the exhaustion of waiting, the fear of breaking free, the guilt of choosing yourself. But you've also done something extraordinary. You've recognized patterns. You've broken cycles. You've written down what you desire. You've reignited what felt lost. This wasn't just a video. It was a ritual of return. You came back to yourself, to what you feel, to what you truly want. And it might not look like much right now, but that return is the beginning of everything. So remember this. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. And most of all, you don't need to be chosen. Because the moment you start choosing yourself, you stop accepting less than you deserve. If this video helped you remember who you are, type in the comments, "I'm coming back to myself." And before you go, hit subscribe, because this is just the first step. Here, we don't promise fairy tales. We offer tools for awakening. Subscribe, share this with a woman you love, and come back here anytime you forget your own worth, because your comeback has already begun.